Welcome back to London, the Gfinity Arena for the Play Like a Legend Grand Finals, supported and provided and powered and all loved by Xbox One. Dave, Chris, welcome back. Dave, you said there would be no goals and that one would be quite tight, but there was loads of goals.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the game because I was too busy signing autographs, but I've just
Your family's arrived then, have they?
6-0 was it? It finished?
Yes.
Yeah, well, it surprised me, and it just shows that Rocky really has stepped up his game. He's adapted, and as I said before, he's been threatening to have results like this in the past, but he's just not quite been there. And yesterday, after beating August Rosemore and then destroying Emmy,
yeah,
you know, he's obviously that form's carried on, and he really is a dark horse. We spoke to Brian before the event today. And he said after yesterday's performance, Epsom Rocky is actually his favourite to go on and win the tournament. So,
right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, let's have a quick look at the bracket then. That should be ready for your viewing pleasure. There you go. So Rocky will be taking on Spencer in the first semi-final. We're getting into the bottom half of that bracket now. So the next game up is Vitality Brian, one of the clear favourites, versus Marlut. And then in a little while, we'll see Graham versus Emmy Boost. So we've got a great game coming up. But before we actually get into the game, Marlut actually, it was his first appearance at an event last season for Season 3 here at Play Like a Legend. And we caught up with him earlier on just to see what his thoughts were, how we got into FIFA, and just to chat about general life, really.
Hello, my name is Marcel, also known as Marlut, and we are here in London at the Gfinity Arena. My brother, he's 4 years older than me, so we just played it on our old PC, just played some games there, career mode. There was no online, I guess, or we just couldn't play it. And then I played 2008, 9, 10, 11 and took it more serious. The first ever tournament who counts in my opinion was Gfinity, the last season, Season 3 I think, which I ended up being in the semi-final, but I lost there. But as the first tournament ever, it's pretty good. My aim was to reach the quarterfinal, and I reached semi-final, so I can't complain. It's hard, for sure, especially when you're new, but the good thing is you have nothing to lose. So I'm new, nobody expects a lot from me, so I just can play, and maybe if I lose at the beginning, it's okay. But for Gorilla and the finalists who won, they have a little bit more pressure, and I think it's harder for them. To be here, it's great. I think everybody here can win it because it's the 16 best from Europe. So it's hard and you need a little bit luck to win, but I think I have the chance to win. But if not, then it's like it.
There you go. Nice little insight into the world of Marlut. Nice that he's joined us back for for the grand final. Season 3 was his first appearance, but he is up against one of the favourites, Vitality Brian. Let's take a very quick look at the head-to-head card, which should be brought up on your screen now. There it is. Chaps, we've been talking about these stats all day. Talk us through what you see. Yeah,
these are a bit more relevant to the ones that we've seen in the past because these two are actually like pretty high ranked on the leaderboard. 90% win ratio for Marlut and 5.1 goals for. And the fact that he's 7th says he's actually played a lot of games. And when we always speak about a huge Gorilla and how many goals he scores, he was only averaging 3.9 goals a game. And, you know, Marlut averages 5.1. And, you know, he's a really good player. If there is going to be an upset, I think this one could be it.
Okay, fair enough. Chris, what do you think?
I think that overall it looks like, it's a much more comparable set of stats. I think also you've got to bear in mind that these two are from different regions as well. So the opponents and competition they might be playing might be a different skill level.
Okay.
Obviously, it's going to be a bit more region based on where they're from. They're going to be playing people a lot more local in their country rather than across. So there's no real way to determine how vital those stats are actually when you compare the two players to each other, obviously being from different places, and Brian having such a tremendous pedigree behind him and being such a formidable player, didn't concede a single goal yesterday. So we'll have to see how it works out, but overall, they're fairly similar stats apart from the win ratio, a little bit more in the favour of Marlut, but again, that could be something to do with the fact that Marlut is from Germany, maybe the competition is a bit different there.
Okay.
And Brian being from France, and obviously we know how many French players are actually in this tournament today and how many have entered our FIFA tournament, so we've got to compare that.
And also, I mean, one of the things that I definitely want to point out about this this graphic here is the intense look in Brian's eyes.
He stares into your soul.
Yeah, exactly. That is intensity. That is intimidating. That is focus. He's ready. He's ready to go, isn't he? But we should see a really good game. So there's Brian's player card. He's also again we're talking about age quite a lot today, aren't we? But it seems quite relevant when you talk about people who perform at this level that they are actually sort of quite young, 21. But again, been around a while, you know, had a successful head-to-head career, Dave.
Yeah.
And has made that transition over to Ultimate Team quite successfully.
Yeah, he's... not many people have been able to successfully make that transition from head-to-head to Ultimate Team. Bob Brian is one of those who's done it pretty well. He's obviously won one of these tournaments in the past. I still think it's not his strongest game mode. It still doesn't suit him that well. But, you know, he has done really well to adapt. But I think he's going to struggle, to be honest.
Okay.
Like, he's not been playing well this tournament. And he said, like, in fact, he said he didn't play until about a week ago since the last tournament. So that's a good, like, 4 weeks in between. And, you know, you do get rusty, so... Yeah,
and he only played 2 games yesterday.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Well, so I wonder if he played, you never know, he might have played last night or whatever. But so you see this going the way of Marlut, do you? Think this could be the upset?
Well, I think there's a potential upset in there, but I still do fancy Brian to win it.
Okay, let's take a little look at Marlut's player card. Should be ready for you now. There we go. He's getting ready in his Boca Juniors top. I don't know whether that's lucky for him or it's his favourite team, but
some nice headphones.
They are nice headphones, aren't they?
What are they? I
don't know, but they look like I don't know what he's listening to. Do you reckon he's in the game or he's got his iPod on? He hasn't got an org yet. I mean, that's quite interesting. I wonder if one of these big teams is going to try and pick him up. Big teams, if you're out there, look, he's quite a talented player. I wonder if anyone's going to make the investment, try and nail him down, or get him on a contract. He seems like he's got the talent to go quite far and quite a promising career.
It depends if he wants to be honest, because a lot of players see, like if you have an org, they see that as added pressure, because then you're expected to do well, whereas, you know, he's came here, he's got no org, no pressure on him whatsoever. The only pressure that's on him is whatever he's putting on himself.
Fair enough.
Do you think that maybe is a little bit more pressure? Maybe he's trying to perform and hopefully get picked up. Obviously, you can't really expect to get picked up by anyone if you're not really performing properly.
Well, I
mean, you've been in organisations before, so you'd have more insight than I would.
Well, to be honest, when you're in tournaments like this, it's kind of in the back of your mind. It's you look towards orgs after tournaments. You never go into a tournament thinking, oh, I want to do well just so I can get an org. So I think that's going to be the last thing on his mind. To be honest, all he's just going to be concentrating on the game. If he wins and he decides to like go for an org, it's up to him. But as I said, some people see that as added pressure. Whether he's one of those people or not, I don't know.
I reckon he's listening to Gareth Gates.
Do you reckon? Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't listen to Gareth
Spirit
Gates?
in the sky.
If he is listening to Gareth Gates, it's going to take him a while to get through the song because of all the stuttering. Anyway, so Marlut is the final German representative in this tournament. If he goes out, it's just going to be British players and French players. It's Marlut versus Vitality. Brian up next. Chris, Dave, do the worst. Away you go.
Thank you very much, Martin. Obviously, it is quarter-final number 3. Marlut versus Vitality. Brian actually being one of my favourites to win a tournament. I'm still pipping Spencer to take it all, but I think it's going to be a close one. I'm actually hoping and thinking that we're going to see Brian and Spencer in the final. So I have to say, for me, this is personally going to be a Brian one. Even if he doesn't feel as well practiced, I think overall he's going to be able to take it. I don't think Marlut put in the best of performances yesterday. So I've got to say that I think Brian's going to come into this and win it. Yeah,
I mean, I do fancy Brian to win it as well, but, you know, there is potential for an upset because Marlut, he's one of those really underrated players. I think Spencer said it yesterday, it might have been you actually. We don't feel like he's actually getting enough credit for, you know, how good he actually is. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they play because after looking at both of their stats, we all know Brian's a heavy possession player. He had 59% on average, but Marlut actually had 60%. So, you know, he's obviously a possession player himself. I want to see which one can actually force the other into playing a style they're not comfortable with.
I mean, Spencer said it earlier that you don't normally see a lot of unusual things like long ranges from someone like Brian, but he did do it in that Season 2 final when he won. Maybe that was just confidence on his part or feeling like it was there because he was at that stage, so he thought he'd take a risk and see if he can give himself a good advantage. Do you think that with the way that he's playing, he obviously said yesterday he wasn't too confident in how he's playing. It wasn't well practiced. Do you think we're going to see a lot more risk-taking from him, trying a couple more long ranges than we're used to seeing?
Well, to be honest, I think he only did that long range. I think they're just going to, they're just going to leave the game because of the weather. No one ever likes playing rain, but I think he did the long range against Ty because Ty, I think Ty
invited him.
Well, Ty was wise to how Brian plays, and he just stopped pressing him. He was just covering all the gaps, which is what Brian usually goes for. He's patient. He'll wait for a gap to open. So he just he was just waiting for Brian to like try and pick out a pass, especially when to Leroy Fer. I mean, what would have been on my mind was, who's he going to look for next pass to, and all of a sudden just picks one out of the top corner. So I don't think Brian will be doing that a lot, especially in a game like this, because Marlut plays possession as well. But I think that was just a one-off, to be honest.
Well, obviously he said he was out of practice, but yesterday you can't really say his defending was bad at all. He didn't concede a single goal in the 2 games that he played, but his attacking obviously not the best. I think he scored 3 goals in total, and a lot of them came very late on into the game. So you could say that maybe he will try a couple more of those chances, especially if he's playing someone who's more possession-orientated, someone who sits back a little bit more. He might try a little bit more of a long-range strike now and then to see if it does go in. I mean, with Ultimate Team, we know what this game mode can produce, and it does reward you a lot better for long-range shots. They're a little bit easier to put into the back of the net, so maybe we're going to see him try a couple more of those today. Yeah.
Well, he's got really neat centre defensive mid. I think both of them actually have, so, the potential's there, but I just don't think... I don't think we'll see too many long-range attempts.
So let's see what's happening here. We've got Brian on the ball right now. And it looks like we're going to be moving for Marlut. Obviously playing in the white kit, going from right to left. We've got Brian in the blue and white kit, going from left to right.
This is how I thought that first game, hey Rocky was going to be playing against Dr. Ohano. Usually when 2 possession players play each other, it just goes back and forth. One player will have the possession, and then when they finally lose it, the other player will be thinking, right, I don't want to attack too quickly now, or I'll just lose it and let him have it all again. So then they'll just hold the possession, they'll lose it, and it just keeps going back and forth just like that. So that's why I didn't think there'd be a lot of goals in that, but obviously Rocky proved me wrong in that instance.
So Dave, I've never asked you this question. Actually, I'll ask it in a second. As Sturridge is on the ball right now, looking for a pass in the box. Brian again with some expert defending. I've never asked you what kind of play style you play, because it's going to hopefully be leading on to my next question. How would you describe your play style? Right
now, I've gone last few months or so. I've been trying to keep a lot more possession. I just feel like you can control the game a lot more if you got the ball, which is kind of obvious. But in the past, I've been a pretty direct player, just trying to attack it with pace.
You're playing a bit more possession, which is good because it's going to lead me on to this one. You're witnessing 2 possession-based players right now. How do you approach a game like that as a possession player playing against another possession player?
Well, it's hard. It depends how good they are at doing what they do. It's one thing just keeping possession, but it's another thing actually creating chances whilst you got it. So, I mean, going back to Taz keeps a lot of the ball, but he doesn't really create a lot of chances, whereas Brian and Marlut, they keep a lot of the ball, but they do create chances. So if he's playing someone like Taz, you'd basically just back off, not put a lot of pressure on. When he's got the ball, just defend, not leave any gaps. But when you're playing someone like Brian, you need to... You need to press him, because you don't want him to have a lot of the ball, because they will start creating chances. But you can't press as much as what you would against every other person, because if you start doing that, that'll just pick you apart and find those gaps. I mean, that's where a lot of people go wrong. They just hold the R1 button, the RB, just secondary press all the time, try and cover off the next pass. And it seems like an easy way to defend, but in one of those clips that we had yesterday before those going into games, Brian said you need to know when and when not to use that secondary press, because it can be really dangerous.
Absolutely, I've seen it happen to a number of people where they've been caught into that situation. I think we've seen a couple of penalties given away because of second man pressing, so got to make sure you use it tactically. It's not just an easy way out.
See, this game's going exactly how I thought it would, exactly how I thought Rocky and Dr. Ohano was going. Yeah, they'll just keep the ball, and when they lose it, the other player will just keep the ball, and it's just going to keep going like that back and forth for a bit, and just feeling each other out, as you said. watch now, Brian will just like be pretty patient. Maybe not.
He's going to go down the wing with Yaya Toure. Cut back inside, look for a pass. Again, Marlut taking that one down. This is probably a good matchup for Marlut if he was actually going to be able to make it through to the top 4. He's definitely got a good chance going up against a Brian who's maybe not firing on all cylinders right now. Plays a bit more of a slower game, so he's not going to have to worry too much about having to defend too often or hitting him on the counter. He can play his own game, play a bit slower. I suppose in a game like this, it gives you a lot more time to think tactically about what you're doing right and where they're trying to hit things. Because I think sometimes you can get a bit carried away. Like for Tass in that first quarterfinal where he was being constantly hammered by Spencer, he maybe didn't have enough time to sit back and reset himself in a lot of situations. He didn't have time to think about the mistakes he might have been making. Didn't have a lot of time to analyze what it was that Spencer was trying to do, because it just seemed to be coming so thick and fast at him. Whereas in a game like this, one opportunity, you've actually got time to sit about and think about it.
Yeah, I'd agree with that in a sense, but the thing is, when you're off the ball, you're having to work twice as hard as what you are when you actually have the ball. So people just think Brian's just sitting back there, not really doing much. You know, he'll have a cup of tea if he wants, but no, it's not like that. When you don't have the ball, it's really draining because you have to concentrate all the time.
You're almost thinking more about what they could be doing rather than, whereas if it's just coming straight at you, you're reacting to what's happening rather than thinking every possible scenario that could go down. Yeah,
well, like, for example, if you played a huge gorilla and you went 1-0 down, it wouldn't be the end of the world because the way he plays, he's not a defensive player. So
he's going to give you opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. In the back of your mind, you'd always be thinking, you know, I'm going to get some chances. I can still get back in it. But if you used to get behind to say Brian or Marlut here, it'd be a massive like blow because you know you're not going to get a lot of the ball. And the first person to take the lead in this, like, I think Marlut's had the fair share of possession so far. But if Brian was to get the lead, Marlut would barely touch the ball again for the rest of the game. And like vice versa, should Marlut get the lead, Brian won't be touching the ball either. 60-40% in a minute in favour of Marlut, which Brian really isn't used to this sort of thing. So
is he just approaching half-time right now? Still 0-0. Brian on possession of the ball, as you said, hasn't had the majority of the possession between the two. Just waiting it out and biding his time right now with some passes. They haven't been the best of passes. We saw that quite a bit yesterday. Although he plays a lot of possession play, hasn't made the most accurate passes at times. He's given the ball away sloppily. Fortunately, his defending has helped him out. He hasn't conceded any goals so far in the competition. Could this be the game that undoes that record? As Ronaldo's on the ball right now, moving forward, waiting for an opportunity, goes for the scoop turn, cuts inside. Oh, what a last-ditch effort to stop that. Well played by Marlut, and that is going to seal it up 0-0 at half-time.
That was such a good combination by Brian. Neither of them have really done much all game. They've just been seeing each other out, covering all the gaps, and that was really nice. Just stop the ball dead, little scoop turn and a body feint straight away. That's so hard to predict. Well, even if you predict them a lot of the time, you just can't tackle them because, especially when they're doing it at the speed that Brian just did there. He's so good at it. We've seen him score goals like that in the past, and it seems to be like his little trademark move, the little stops, scoop turn and first time body feint.
Absolutely. Barrage Tricks in the chat says, what a sick combo. Fresh and Breezy saying that Marlut got lucky there.
I wouldn't necessarily say it was lucky. I think it was a good block, but
DJA891605 saying what a block. So some good plaudits going towards Marlut. It was an incredible defending.
I think Brian's obviously got a lot of confidence from that. He's taking it in his stride easy. Ibra's going to another body feint inside.
Oh, there it is.
There's that vein popping out of Brian's neck. That always seems to happen whenever he scores.
He's hulking up, going Super Saiyan right now.
It's like he's just like pop out on stalks. The veins just like explode in his neck. I wouldn't want to be in that booth with him when he scores.
I wouldn't want to be either. It's actually a case that we've got them playing in different booths now, so he can obviously shout and scream as much as he wants to. Ibra, the Factor. What do you think of Ibra in this year's FIFA? I mean, obviously a lot of people were hurt by the fact that he got downgraded to a 4-star skills, arguably unrightfully so, and he's always been such a threat on previous FIFAs, maybe not quite up to what the competitive scene would see as ideal. I suppose in hindsight, he does play for PSG, who's possibly, well, you could argue one of the more favourable teams on something like head-to-head. But in Ultimate Team, it seems to be that he's coming out of trend, which Vitality Brian started just for that kind of reason. What are your thoughts on Ibra?
I don't necessarily think he's been a popular player whatsoever on FIFA 15 purely because heading isn't so effective. Where on past FIFAs, obviously heading's been you know, a big part of the game, and you know, having someone that tall with like the heading accuracy that he's actually got, it's always useful. And the fact that you get a player that big with 5-star skill moves is actually rare. So taking all that away is not as good. But obviously Brian is one of the players who seems to get the best out of him every tournament.
There's a question in here from 69 Marco 9666. Why do people think 5-star skills matter so much? He says they don't.
They do.
Oh, Ibra on the ball again. Ibra, the factor, 2-0 right now. Two great opportunities. He is a proper super sub for Vitality Brian. The amount of chances that he puts away and the presence he gives for him up front. Him and Ronaldo up front are a scary combo.
Yeah, so this is what happens when you go 1-0 down to a possession player. Marlut went 1-0 down and he's...
Start playing aggressive?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he was panicking, but his style's had to change and he's been a lot more forceful, and obviously not what you want to do. And he's just committing players, and Brian's just picking him apart.
Go back to the 5-star skill moves debate. I mean, for me, it more gives you options. If you can use the 5-star skills, like personally, I'm not the biggest skiller when it comes to FIFA. I like to do some of the more basic ones. I'm a big fan of like the McGeady spin if you do have some 5-star skills. If you've got the stop and turn or the Berber spin, if you've 4-star skills. The fake Rabona is a good 5-star skill. Other than that, I don't overly use 5-star skills. It's more those two are quite crucial in... They're more practical to use in a game of FIFA. They're not so much showboating moves as they are to actually take on a defender. So for you, why are 5-star skills so important?
Well, they can be used for various things. Obviously, it can be used to beat a man. But for example, the fake Rabona, a lot of people use that to receive passes just because it's like an automatic great first touch.
Yeah, it resets you as well.
Yeah, exactly. And just if you can like master the 5-star skill moves.
Oh
Ibra.
no, Ibra with the instant hat trick. 67 minutes into the game, Marlut can't do anything but admire the presence that Ibra has got right now in his lower third, and it's just Brian. He is just coming forward. It looks like maybe he's shaked off the cobwebs from yesterday.
Yeah, definitely. He started bad, and I said it about Emmy as well. Said it about Brian in his first game. Actually, if you want to win a tournament like this, you need to be able to win those games which you play bad in. Both of them have done that. And Brian has completely changed his game around today. And, you know, he didn't start this game too well, actually. At one point, he only had 40% possession, which, as I said, for someone like Brian, they're not used to that. But he's completely turned that around now since Ibra's come on. No, he's completely turned it around.
So hopefully we'll get to actually hear your answer about the 5-star skill moves. You've been interrupted like twice now.
If you can master them and use them in the right situations, they're extremely vital. Like, not many people can use them in the right situations, but I think Ty Walton is one of the people who he uses them to great effect, especially the one. It's kind of hard to describe. There's a little ball roll and then a little flick in the opposite direction. It's if you can master that, it's extremely useful. But as I said, if you're just like a normal competitive player and you don't use skills very often, then obviously 5-star isn't an important thing. But if you are good with skills and you are a competitive player, then 5-star skill moves is a big advantage.
And DJA say that Marlut is looking dumbfounded. A lot of comments saying that maybe Marlut is out of the game now. I think it's fair to say in the first half he defended quite deep actually, and Brian was trying a lot of through balls, trying to make his plays a bit quicker than we're used to seeing from him. And in the second half, he's noticed that maybe he needs to hold up the ball a little bit more. And if he can hold it around the penalty spot or around the penalty area, he could obviously lay the ball off and give himself some good opportunities. And since he's brought Ibra on, so a bit more of a target man who can hold the ball up for him, he's been able to do that. And he's held the ball up, he's laid it off to a couple of people, and he's been able to convert 3 chances for him.
Well, it was always going to happen. Whoever got the first goal was going to be in control of the game. Goalkeeping. Like Brian got the first goal and he was able to hold the ball, and then that forced Marlut into having to press really hard to come and get the ball back, and that's when the gap started opening up and Brian took advantage of it. I'm pretty sure if Marlut took the lead, it'd be the opposite way round. Brian would have to press high and then Marlut would be finding those gaps.
80 minutes gone in this first leg. It is 3-0 currently. Patrick Kluivert coming on at centre attacking mid for Marlut right now. Hopefully it will give him something to go in this. If he can get a consolation goal in this, I think he's still within a shout, but right now, it's just looking so strong for Brian. All he's got to do is just defend for one game. He's just got to make sure he doesn't concede more than 2 goals. And
yeah,
with the way it's looking, he's not really pressured at all.
Oh no, if Brian goes into the second game with a 3-goal advantage, I can't see Marlut being able to peg that back. I mean, if he goes in with a 3-goal advantage and Marlut's to get 1 goal like early on in that second game, Brian will just completely shut him out and just start keeping the ball. See if he's got any tricks up his sleeve here.
Marlut on the free kick now. This is a good opportunity for him to actually get it. He's trying to reset it so he can bring that player that's been put on the line from Brian off. Very sneaky tactic, but he had to be quick. And there's the chance. Kluivert just managing to hit that at the keeper, and it is parried out for a corner. Still another opportunity for Mark to get a goal back. If he could get this goal, it's going to be very crucial in his hopes to keep this game alive for himself. Currently staring at elimination from the tournament. Brian looking to go through into the semi-final. So we'll have to see how that one was. I believe he's going to be playing the winner of Graham and... No.
Emmy, yeah. Graham and Emmy, yeah.
Graham and Emmy are going to be...
That's our next quarter-final.
Imagine if, I think that there's no doubt about it, if Brian managed to beat both Emmy and Spencer in this competition, there would be no doubt who is actually the ultimate player.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, as I said earlier, like, the 2 big names that have really stood out on FIFA 15 for being the best are Brian and Huge Gorilla. And right there, they're both showing us why.
Exactly. I mean, being able to beat 2 champions of this series so far. Obviously, Spencer winning the first season, Emmy winning the 3rd season, Brian winning the 2nd season. So no doubt be very one-sided who was actually the ultimate player if he managed to beat that. But 3-0 in that first leg. Ibrahimovic creating the differences there. 3 goals from him. What do you think Marlut's got to do in this situation? He's a bit lost. He hasn't got a lot going forward. His defence was strong in the first half, very sloppy in the second. What do you do in a situation like this?
It's really hard to say because Brian, you know, his team isn't the best, but the way he plays is just, it's perfect to hold the lead. So it's hard to say how you can come back against a beating like this against someone like Brian. If it was against someone like a Huge Gorilla, which even then you wouldn't really fancy it because creating chances against someone like that without like him creating chances of his own isn't very likely. But there's not many things I can think of. All he can do is go to a 3 at the back, which it looks like he's doing. Stop Brian being able to boss a possession, and see where he can go from there.
That is, I think we've actually got a formation change from the start coming out from Mark. So this is something that is good for him to change up a little bit. However, I'm not too sure. He's actually experimenting to see what kind of chemistry he can get. I think he might actually stick with what he's previously been playing with.
Yeah, I think
he decided to have a little look at what he could get away with.
Yeah, he was looking at the 3 at the back, but the chemistry was only on 92, but I'm pretty sure he'll be switching to that as soon as he gets into the game anyway.
Well, I think... Does he have... No, he doesn't actually have a proper CDM that he could have replaced Van Arnholt with to make it a full chemistry team. But, I mean, the team he's got, there's not a lot wrong with it. It's a very strong team. I think he's possibly just doubting maybe the setup. Maybe he wants a couple of different players in there to help him out.
Looking at his bench, he only had really 3 people he could bring on, who he brings on at half-time anyway. The 3 at the back, he definitely needs to play that because Brian's just going to completely dominate the possession now in this game because he doesn't need to attack. And he needs to, Marlut needs to be able to stop him doing that without leaving too many gaps at the back. So having 3 at the back and flooding the midfield there a little bit will help him slightly, but I can't really see a way back into this game for him.
James Rodriguez playing up front, purely for chemistry reasons right there. I believe he switches Rodriguez back to the centre mid and pushes Sturridge up front. So it's a strong front 3 there for that man. And obviously, like Brian, he's 3-0 up at this situation. And obviously, I think anyone could point out that all he's got to do is just not concede. There's a lot of, there's also pressure on him at this point. Like, obviously he's got to be feeling comfortable, but in a competition, you're probably never going to feel 100% confident and comfortable with the way the situation's going. What's his game plan going into this? Is he trying to, is he going to be on the attack? Is he going to be sitting way back? Is he going to be playing his game?
Yeah,
What's he going to be doing?
He definitely won't be sitting back. He'll just literally be holding the ball as much as he can, and he'll be looking to punish Marlut whenever he leaves a gap at the back, because Marlut's obviously going to have to press really high. And interestingly, he only went for a 4-3-1-2, which, you know, if you're going to go for that, you might as well just go for a 3-5-1-2 instead. It's basically the same formation, but you get some extra players in the midfield to stop Brian being able to hold the ball. With a 4-3-1-2, it's more of a counter-attacking formation, I find. It's hard to hold the ball with. I mean, you can press with it, but...
So do you think that maybe he should... Do you think that's possibly where it's going wrong for him? I know he does make a couple of changes to his team, but do you think that he's possibly playing the wrong formation?
Well, in the first game, as I kept saying, it was always going to be decided by whoever got the first goal, because then they could then it was in their hands, and it was going to be up to the opponent to try and you know, think of something to do to stop them being able to dominate the possession. But formation-wise, I think he's playing the wrong formation at the moment, but I don't necessarily think he started with the wrong one.
It's Brian on the attack now with Gareth Bale. Somehow manages to win that ball. He has got an opportunity here. Here comes the cross at the back post. There it is. Quick start from Brian. Once again, that surely sealed the deal.
Yeah, he was a little bit fortunate how the ball just kind of fell kindly for Gareth Bale, and thankfully for him, Ronaldo had peeled off onto the back post into Patrick Van Aanholt, and that was always going to be a winner.
Marlut looks like his dreams have gone down the toilet. Dr. Ahano trying to give him his diagnosis and prescribe him something to get back in this game. But just like everyone else, no one ever listens to their doctors.
Yeah, it looks like he's going for a 3-5-1-2 now. Right.
He's got to go all out. Yeah. There's nothing he can do. He's been forced his hand to put himself on a tilt situation, and it's a risky play being on a tilt situation. You never want to be in a scenario where you have to literally go all out, because it can either go very well for you if fortune's on your side, or it can catastrophically go out of hand.
Yeah, I'll keep saying this is 3-5-1-2. It's obviously not a 3-4. Sort of a 3-4-3 formation, or 3-5-2 as FIFA's got it. But I think this is too little too late now for Marlut. He needed this 3 at the back a little bit earlier.
Just a reminder to those in the chat, you can get yourself involved. Oh, hold on.
Penalty.
Oh, that's a soft penalty right there. We've seen quite a few of these today. Ooh,
yeah, it was a pretty stone waller. He done a little body feint inside, and I think Brian was using that secondary press a little bit too much then. Maybe he needs to take his own advice.
Maybe he's lacked a bit of concentration all of a sudden. He knows he's got a 4-0 cushion.
He's kind of good. Yeah, he's kind of a good composure by Marlut to begin with. I thought he had a little bit of space to shoot, maybe at the near post, but decided to do a body feint inside instead and won himself a penalty. Good start. Well, not a great start, but he's done well to get back into it straight away.
No emotion on the face of Marlut right there. Brian, not too bothered about that one. He's probably just happy to still have a 3-goal lead, although had that first goal not gone in for him with the fortune he had. Might be a different story for both of these competitors right now, but Brian's still firmly in the driving seat and looking to capitalise on this. Just a reminder to anyone in the chat who wants to get involved in some competition for FIFA, you can do on our online platform, Gfinity.net. You can play all sorts of FIFA tournaments, whether they're Ultimate Team or head-to-head, across all sorts of platforms. So there's £4,000 a month given away on Gfinity.net, so get yourself involved and you could win some cash prizes. Everyone loves a bit of cash prizes for playing a game of FIFA.
This is the issue, and every time Brian attacks, you can just see that Marlut's leaving gaps everywhere because he's having to press so high. I just can't really see Marlut being able to get back into it without conceding.
Well, he's trying some counter-attacking play. It's not going to happen for him. Goes offside, unfortunately for him. What's going on in the chat these days? How's everyone getting on? Enjoying the game and enjoying the FIFA action this week?
Enjoying my non-biased commentary, of course.
Your non-biased commentary. Live here at the Gfinity Arena for the Play Like a Legend Championships 2015. This is the Season 4 finale of the entire series. presented by Xbox One. We love those guys at Xbox. Shout out to you guys for this amazing tournament. I've enjoyed casting it. I've enjoyed sitting out. I've actually been doing the video producing for the past 3 seasons, which is why I'm only just getting onto the commentary desk right now, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. It's produced some fantastic games and some fantastic action. Hopefully we've still got quite a little bit more to go. Apparently Liam MUFC 2008 said he's good, he's just sitting here flexing in the mirror. Is that something you like to do whilst you watch FIFA?
I've actually been doing it now whilst the stream's not on me.
I was wondering what you were doing. I mean, Spencer was saying you were going to take your shirt off earlier, so I thought he was just being sarcastic, but now I'm a little bit worried.
It depends. If the stream stopped giving me abuse for my biased commentary, then maybe I'll treat them.
I'm not sure it's a treat, more of a trick than anything that could come of it, but nonetheless. As we're on the ball with Brian, he's looking to play someone. He has got Ronaldo making a run. He could have possibly put that ball through to him. Doesn't happen though. Marlut gets the ball. He's on the counter-attack now, looking to move down the right. And obviously, he's playing a much quicker game. It looks like Marlut has definitely realized that although he likes to play his style, he's got to change it up. So he's been in no doubt this situation before. So he's looking to make it happen. Whether he can actually succeed is another question entirely. And right now, oh no, that's an unfortunate situation. Alexis Sanchez buried down on that, crosses the ball. It's going to somehow end up in the back of the net. Oh no, well, I think Ryan is confused as to what happened there.
I think you've just deafened my one ear. That was
sorry, mate.
Well, turn that down that was a really bad mistake by Brian. And it was a really lucky goal the way it's gone in. In fact, he was lucky in two instances. I'm not really sure what Courtois is doing. He's not having a great weekend, is he, Courtois? Mistakes all over the shot, but he should have saved the original shot to start with. And then I'm not really sure what's just happened there. Danstru's just kind of RKO'd him over the line.
I haven't been this
out of nowhere.
Brian looks as confused as I was when I was watching England versus Italy in the Euros, and Raheem Sterling's shot looked like it went in, but was actually behind the goal. The scoreline went up, everyone was cheering. I didn't think it went in, but I went along with it anyway, and it was disallowed, and I pretty much almost broke down and cried.
I think that's what they all say. I knew he didn't go in, but I was just going with everyone else, but secretly, you know.
I was like, no, that went wide, didn't it, for a split second, and then everyone started cheering, the scoreboard changed, I went mental. Dropped my beer everywhere, and then I basically started crying. More so because I dropped my beer rather than we didn't score.
Brian needs to be careful now, though. Just going back to the game, Brian really needs to be careful. He started this game perfectly. He got that extra goal, a full goal advantage, but now that's just dropped to 2. Marlut's obviously got the momentum in his favour. He hasn't had many chances, but when they've came his way, he's managed to force his way over the line, quite literally, in that last goal's case.
Ketley1996 asks, is it bad that I play 6 at the back and 2 defensive mids?
Sorry, what was that?
He said, is that bad that I play 6 at the back and 2 defensive mids?
That is, like, you don't deserve to be playing FIFA if you're doing stuff like that.
Rudy with a long shot! Oh, right there. The bar, and he's got the rebound! No way is he going to make this comeback. That is 2 fortunate situations right now. And you have to argue the penalty as well was a soft one. So luck is certainly starting to go Marlut's way. Everyone in the chat counted him out. And obviously he's had to force his hand and go a lot more offensive. And like I said, he's taken a couple of risks. He's realised that things that he's doing right now, not working for him. He's got to take a risk or 2, and they're starting to pay off for him. 1 goal behind.
Watch Courtois playing that look. If I was Brian, I'd honestly sub that Courtois straight away. He hits a post, and then Courtois just looking around thinking, where am I? It's like Christoph Kramer in that World Cup final where he gets that concussion. Starts asking the ref if he can ref the game, asks Neuer if he can go in goal. But yeah, Brian's keeper's really not helping him out in this game.
Courtois looks like he's caught in an episode of Blue's Clues right now. Has absolutely no idea what's going on and needs some help. Brian has got to make sure he sees this out. There's only 1/2 of this game left. He's currently 1-0 up. Let's see if he can put the lead back in his favour. Ronaldo on the ball. He passes it to Rodriguez. That's surely got to be it now on the stroke of half-time.
I thought that was offside. It
James
looked like he was
Rodriguez.
slightly offside, but that's really not what Marlut needed. He just got back into the game. Just needed one more goal to make it even, and he's having to press so wide. He just keeps leaving gaps every time Brian attacks, and it was inevitable really that Brian was always going to get one back.
It's a sly little tactic from Brian to have James Rodriguez playing up front so he can have Ronaldo and Bale on the pitch at the same time, and having Sturridge in the midfield so that he has got a proper striker up front. And obviously Rodriguez, with his all-rounded stats, makes for a fantastic centre mid.
I think Courtois deserves a clap there because he's actually just caught the ball for a change.
He does it. Do you remember when you were younger and you went for swimming lessons and you used to get the Kellogg's Frosties certificates for swimming 10 metres? I think that's what he gets. Caught a ball.
Yeah.
And it's got Tony the Tiger on the certificate, and you give it to him with the badge that you can sew to your bathing suit.
Yeah. Just looking at those stats then, Brian had 64% in the possession, and he just proves what I was saying. As soon as whoever's got the lead, they're just going to keep the ball as much as they can and frustrate their opponents. Marlut, he averages 60% possession, so the fact he's only got like 36 in this game just goes to show.
The whole chat saying that goal was offside, or
he did look offside, but
I don't know if the production could mark that one down for us.
No, on the replay you saw he was quite he was easily onside. The fullback played him.
I'll take your word for it. You are the FIFA expert, after all.
Yeah, just a lot of
doing air quotes while I say that. I'm joking.
A lot of moments on FIFA, there's like a player like not in view playing someone onside, but on the replay there we saw that he was definitely getting played onside, and could this be another one? Oh, that would have been a nice goal.
This is an odd name. Jazuzi94 saying I played harder opponents in Division 2. That's not a very nice comment.
No, well,
considering these guys are here playing for 15 grand right now, and you're sat at home watching the game.
Well, usually we see people saying, "Oh, I play better than this in Division 10." So you know,
that's
a little bit of a compliment, I suppose. He's seen them as Division 2 players.
A slight dig and a compliment at the same time. I'm sure the people in the crowd who have unfortunately lost to these guys will also be saying, "Hey."
Division 2 is not that bad. I know a huge gorilla can't get out of Division 2. I mean, look how good he is.
Oh, really?
No.
That's a shame.
Could you imagine?
I think the furthest I got to was Division 4. I might have gotten to Division 3. I can't remember. Or I might. No. Do you know what? I was 1 point away. I had my last game. I was 1 point away from getting to Division 3. This is near the start of the game. I came up against like a full team of the year team. And the guy was not very good, but I just played awful. And my keeper did a lot of things that you're seeing Courtois do in this game, unfortunately. And I lost 6-5. And, well,
to be fair,
unfortunately, I had to go and buy a new monitor the next day.
To be fair, sometimes when you're playing like through seasons like this, people in like sort of Division like 8 and 9, they can be harder to play than people in Division 1 purely because
they restart their team.
No, it's not even that. It's just because they're so bad that you can't predict what they're going to do. Like,
yeah. So like, you over-anticipate and give them too much credit.
For example, like what a normal like competitive player would do, they don't do, and it kind of throws you off. You're like, oh, why are you not doing that? It's kind of like playing the computer. Like the computer is just horrible to play because they're just so unpredictable.
Active Zombie 18, just can't believe the fact that 15 grand is being given away for a couple of games of FIFA. Yes, mate, and you could have got involved had you gone to gfinity.net/legends and got yourself involved. All these guys have qualified for it by being very good at FIFA, and if you think you're better than them, be sure to get yourself on the gfinity.net website, and you can play some more FIFA and play against them anytime you want and earn yourself some cash. Obviously, there's lots of tournaments going on across all sorts of platforms. Across the week, £4,000 in prizes given away a month. So make sure you get yourself involved. You might find me on there as well, and I'm awful at FIFA, so if you could beat me, you could probably beat these lot. That's an exaggeration. Also, questions asking where Spencer's gone. I know how much we all love Spencer. In fact, I love Spencer as well.
No, I don't.
Okay, you don't, but I like Spencer. He's an all right guy. So he will be back, I believe, casting the next game. And I'll be disappearing. You're probably sick of my voice already by now. Don't worry, I won't be casting too much today.
That was an important
I'm going to leave that to Dave and Spence.
That was a really important block by Brian there. Usually those headers off the near post on corners just go straight in, but I'm not really sure whether he actually selected his player and put him there. If he did, it was a really good defensive block, but if not, kind of look at the computer did it for him.
I have to give an apology to Brandon instead. Stop talking so much rubbish and talk about the game. So I apologize, my friend. I will talk a bit more about the game. But right now, it's a bit of a stalemate at this present moment. It seems to have calmed down all of a sudden. Marlut obviously still needs to get some luck to go his way. He had 3 very fortunate goals, in my opinion. Brian managing to work his very, very well. He did have fortune on his first one in the second leg, but obviously came into the game 3-0 up after an Ibrahimovic hat-trick in the first leg. Now Marlut having quite a bit more possession than we're used to him seeing. As awarded a free kick, takes it very quick though. Playing a little bit slower when he gets to the lower third, and it looks like that Brian is just going to go on the counter-attack. He's got lots of options as well, and the numbers. He's going to play this up the left-hand wing to Ronaldo. The pace of Ronaldo, far too much for this defender. Here comes the cross. No header going to receive from Brian. Rooney on the ball, plays it out to the right. Sturridge coming inside, back post cross to Ronaldo, cuts to the wing, cuts inside. Oh, just saved, and Courtois.
He had the cut back on then. I'm not really sure why he didn't take it, but that was just a perfect example of what Brian stands for. He had the chance to shoot with Rooney on the edge of the box. He played it out wide. First time cross into the box, Rooney could have, you know, just got excited and had a shot, like hopeful header, which would have gone nowhere. Took a first touch, tried to work a better angle for himself, and in the end, he had a cut back on. I'm not really sure why he didn't take it, but that's just how Brian plays.
Got a question here from, is it Swad? SUAAD_X saying, ask you about what's going on with Wolverhampton right now.
Well, I'm not really sure. Well, the club, the city. I'm pretty sure if he meant the club, he'd be saying Wolves. Was this a good chance for Ibra? Just carry, hit it.
Oh no!
He's just he's overplaying. He doesn't really need to do that many body feints, but Wolverhampton, best city in the world, of course. Apparently it was raining quite heavily yesterday, and so I'm glad I was in London because it was actually boiling hot.
It was really hot yesterday. I was surprised.
Sun was out for a change.
It was misty when I left my house at 7 a.m.
So yeah, that's what's going on with Wolverhampton.
Rocky_fella, he basically hurled some abuse at us and then said we probably support either United or City. I'm a Chelsea fan myself.
I'm a Wolves fan. I can't stand Man United, if you didn't know. I'm free. If anybody follows me on Twitter, Marlut's just given up. Charged out with his keeper, and easy goal for Brian. But not quite the vein popping celebration that we used to, but the game's pretty much sealed up now. Marlut, you know, he had his chance to get back into the game. He did well to get a few goals back, but unluckily for him, he's going to be going out to the quarter-final stage.
Make sure you let us know who you think is going to win the overall competition. I think it's fair to say that Brian has won this one. He'll be the 3rd semi-finalist going through. Obviously, we've still got one more game between Emmy and Graham to come up. Obviously, Graham finishing, I believe, top of his group, and Emmy finishing 2nd. Obviously, the season pre-champion. So it's going to be interesting at who we think. I mean, I can't remember who you said, but obviously now with Aggie out of the tournament, he was your pick initially. From what you've got left in the competition, obviously we've got Spencer, we've got Brian's most likely going to move through in this. We've got Rocky, and then obviously we've got the winner of Graham and Emmy. Who do you think is going to be taking this all?
Well, my second prediction was Dr. Ahano, and every time I'm not even going to make another prediction. I don't want to.
Just don't put it on Spencer because otherwise he'll lose.
Well, I predicted him in the first ever tournament, and he won that. So yeah, Spencer's actually giving me a lot of stick for my predictions today, but what he's forgetting is it's actually 1-0 to me on the predictions. So.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's why I really don't want Kirilla to win this, just because then it'll be 1-1. So, Spencer, I'll give you a £5 if you lose. It's not quite $7,000, but you know.
I don't think a £5 matches up to $7.5 grand. And I think 2nd place gets $4 grand, 3rd and 4th getting $1,750, and goal of the season from seasons 1 to 3 will get $500. Is it dollars? No, it is dollars. Sorry.
$5 is always nice.
I thought it was pounds, but it's dollars. Score a decent goal, get 500. Don't even have to win.
Might get him a milkshake if he's lucky.
Yeah, that's spent. So there you have it. Brian securing a 3rd spot in the semi-final. He'll obviously be facing off against Graham and Emmy in the next and final quarter-final matchup. I mean, overall, that game, any thoughts to it?
It was a commanding performance by Brian. I know he conceded 3 goals in that second game. I think that was the first goals he's actually conceded all tournament. He's pretty solid defensively. I know his keeper made some mistakes, but you know, it's not going to happen every game. So yeah, he's going to be pretty confident after that. And you know, it does look like we could possibly be seeing that final like we keep talking about, Brian against a huge gorilla, which would be a great final to have.
I mean, obviously, you said it was the first goals he's conceded in the tournament. This is his 3rd game as well. And right now, it wasn't until the second leg he actually managed to concede a goal, and a lot of them were quite fortunate. It does seem like his defense is just so solid, and he's finally found his scoring form as well in this game. Maybe yesterday was a couple of cobwebs being shown off. Maybe he was just tired. Who knows? But in that first leg, he just looked so good, and you can just see how well he played that ball around, managing to find Ibra here to make it 1-0 and putting the ball into the back of the net. It was just patient play from him. Obviously, so much emotion going for him, knowing that, yeah, he's finally found the formula that works for him. Ibra really doing well for him right now. And do you think that's going to be a big factor in his game going into his semi-final matchup?
Well, just going back to that goal, what made that goal so good is the fact he just delayed the body feint ever so slightly. If he did it straight away, like most people would have, he would have been tackled. But the fact he just delayed it that little bit.
Corridor of uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. He just delayed that a little bit and it gave him a little bit more space to go into, and it's a great finish. But Ibra is definitely, obviously, a big part of how Brian plays, and he's one of the very few people I've made Ibra work so effectively for himself.
So this is the second goal right here. Obviously, Ibra getting the hat-trick overall. Sturridge just laying it off, waiting for Ibra to make a run. Ibra does make this incredible run over the left, and Marlut just not really picking that up. I think he was too concentrated on where the ball actually went. He'd done a bit of ball watching, which is something you never want to do on FIFA, because it really is. It really can hurt you a lot of times, and we've seen that throughout the competition so far.
To be fair, that goal did pretty much come out of nothing. I mean, it was a great pass, but at the same time, he didn't look like a likely pass. Fair enough, Ibra was just about to run into space, but you know, he wasn't certain whether he was going to stop or not. And Daniel Sturridge was actually facing away from goal, so he didn't look like he was going a pass was on. But you know, Brian noticed that there obviously was one, and
I mean, he was hoping to push him over to the wing as well and give him no chance to actually put it away, but put it well into the near post. So here you go for the 3rd goal. Yaya Toure with the ball. Just again, Ibra managing to slip his man, and he knows he's about to be closed down. Can't really afford to take a touch. Hits it first time. You know how good Ibra is in front of goal, and how his luck has been riding at that point in the game. So he thought, why not take the chance? And there you go, Bob's your uncle. He gets it to 3-0 going into the second leg.
Yeah, I mean, Brian was so commanding in that game. As soon as he got that first goal, he started pretty nervously. Actually, he didn't have a lot of the ball whatsoever. Marlut was just controlling it. But as I said quite a few times, whoever got the first goal was gonna just take the game by the scruff of the neck and control it for the rest of it.
Looks like Brian has finally found his groove. And speaking of Brian, we've actually got him down for an interview with Martin Wyatt. Take it away, boys.
Nice one, Chris. Thanks, Dave. Brian, well done. Congratulations into the semi-finals. It didn't look as easy as many people thought it would be, but you must be happy to make it through to the final 4.
Yeah, I think I have a big. I was very afraid during the second leg because I was thinking, whoa, what happened? This match is not for me, because he have all the luck during the game, and I was like, whoa, he will come back and win like 5-4 or 6-4, but hopefully I scored 2 goals, and now I'm good.
So there were a couple of times during the game where you actually thought, no matter how well I play, I'm not going to be lucky enough. You're having some bad luck.
Yeah. At 4-3, when he scored his 2 strange goal, I can say, I was like, whoa, I will never win this game, it's impossible. But hopefully it's calmed down after, and it was a fair game, and I managed to score 2 more goals, so it's okay.
And what about now that you're into the semi-finals, you know you're in the top 4 players, which is great. What does that do mentally? How do you prepare for the next game now?
If I have to be honest, at the start, I was not really thinking to go this far because I don't train a lot. So I'm just happy to be here, and now I think I will just play like I have played this game with my experience, I think, because my level is not at the top, I think. So I will just try with experience to manage to win maybe the semi and maybe the final.
Nice one. Thanks very much, Brian. Well, it's that calmness and that composure that might carry him all the way through to the final and to the championship. Who knows? We shall find out as the next few games are played. Next quarter-final will be after this very, very short break. Join us then.
Is this what you wanted? Is this what you were looking for? Was everything you've compromised, everything you've done, worth it? Was it? You've completed your mission, Spartan Locke. Mine is just beginning.
Somehow falls to his feet. I don't even understand how that was magically possible, but he's danced his way around 4 players.
Storm scored a free kick in the last tournament. He's done it again! Another Rooney free kick. That one was arguably better than the one we saw in season 1 as well. Yeah, I think the one this season one the keeper's hat should have saved. So I'm getting nowhere near that one.